All right, we just did a huge Whole Foods haul. All of this cost $204. And our primary thing is we don't eat seed oils. We try to eat organic, especially if it's gonna be wheat. And essentially we're also trying to save money. And I know Whole Foods isn't the cheapest place ever, but quality, it was like a combination of quality versus price. And George over here is really, really good at pricing things. So we kind of did a back and forth where I was actually using the Bobby approved app just to make my life easier, because he and I kind of see eye to eye on like what we think is clean. And so you can just scan it and it'll tell you. Like, I would have never picked out these cream of mushroom condensed soups, but I did because it was on the Bobby approved app. So I basically ordered this from really, really clean, and then it gets a little bit more processed. So
I didn't know you did that.
I did. So we can kind of go through some of our items.
Alright, this is coconut oil.
You may not be in the screen, sweetheart. You'll have to come back here.
This is coconut oil. We use a lot of this for cooking and also for, I don't know if it's called, is that technically called postpartum for the birth?
Yeah, I don't know if it's postpartum. I guess it's during labor.
Mm-hmm. Our midwife asked us to get some sort of healthy lubricant, so coconut oil is what we got for that.
Yeah, so I'm having a home birth for those of you that don't know, and so
Coconut oil essential for rehydration and tasty little snack.
yeah, this is really yummy in smoothies. It doesn't necessarily have electrolytes like people try to say, but it is a good source of, what is it, potassium, I believe. Yeah, 10% potassium, which is half decent.
This is exciting for me because I love yogurt. Yogurt's a staple in my everyday meals. We switched from, what is the other milk called? Yogurt called? Not Greek.
Yogurt, I guess. Just regular versus Greek.
We were used to getting this other yogurt, and we switched to Greek because it has more protein.
Double, actually.
And so we're trying to get, I guess a little bit more smart on our protein intake. So we got that these yogurts. It's plain. Just so that you know.
No sugars.
What
we try really hard with not doing too much sugar.
Mm-hmm.
About that.
Really excited about this butter. It's actually really good for, source of or being organic and
pasture raised ultimately. Because last time we went to the store and we found this Amish butter, and it was essentially like bologna, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it said Amish, but it was like, it was one of those things where they could put Amish on a label, but it wasn't actually from like an Amish farm or whatever. It was from someone who got it, like they were making it, but then they said it was some type of loophole where it wasn't actually Amish and it wasn't like pasture raised.
So this is a roll of pasture-raised butter, which is fantastic for us. We make a lot of cookies. If you watch my vlogs on this channel, you'll see how many cookies we make, and we use butter in the recipe. So if you can guess how long this will last us, you're probably wrong. It will last us way less because we use so much butter in all the things that we make.
Yeah, we use it for breakfast, sometimes lunches. And
mostly cookies.
Sometimes for like, dessert.
Yep.
Or, obviously a lot for dessert. But we got the big sizes because we use so much of them.
Yeah.
And we also use it for oatmeal.
Yeah, oatmeal in the mornings.
So that's fun.
And then just some produce here. So just to go down this kind of quickly, we have rainbow bell peppers. These were way cheaper than a regular bell pepper, right?
Mm-hmm. The regular one's like $5 or so. These ones look a little smaller, but
get a whole pack for like way cheaper.
Yeah, it was a lot cheaper. It was like something like $5 or something for this whole pack.
Yeah.
So that's good. And we have a good meal idea prepared for that.
Yeah, for lunch we're thinking we're gonna do a base of rice, because my ultimate goal was to find things that we can make way quicker for lunch, because I don't want to make a whole big meal for lunch, a whole big meal for dinner. So I'm gonna pre-make rice, put it in a bowl. We're gonna do sliced up raw bell peppers,
Green onions,
these green onions,
sweet potatoes,
spinach.
spinach, and then what was the protein?
We're gonna do this tuna
yeah.
actually. So the price of canned fish for some reason where we live has either gone up recently or it's like a where we live sort of thing. But anyway, this was our cheapest option with also being clean. So skipjack tuna doesn't have the mercury that regular tuna has. It's a smaller breed of tuna. So we got 4 cans. We're gonna split a can. So it should last us a little bit longer.
Yeah, I really like these because you know it's a good source of protein again, and you can season it up to where it's tasty and it's not as bland. So that's good.
If there was a clean mayo that was within our budget, we would have done it. But they're just
That's the problem. You
they're
couldn't find
expensive.
good mayo unless it was like $10 at least.
And we were trying to like play the game of like healthy but not too expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So
Bananas.
That's
I would say a snack.
Yeah.
And I usually have, again, I add it to my breakfast stuff. We got what are called red baby potatoes. I'm not sure what you use for this.
They'll just be little snacks, so we can slice them up. We have an air fryer back here, and we can just put a little oil on them and make little snacks out of those.
Okay.
Also, snack-wise, I have dates. So please, if anybody has actual, so butter in the dates with salt. You guys know that from TikTok.
Wow. So good.
But my gripe here is they say that dates are really good for helping ripen the cervix before you give birth. I'm 36 weeks pregnant. However, I've tried looking up the data to back this. I think it's baloney. So if anybody actually knows, you let me know.
Okay. We got a couple cream of mushrooms. So the soup, we looked on this app called Bobby Knows Best. And he said that these were approved, and we wanted like some type of soup just to test them out because once we want to incorporate more soup in our diet.
Just like for lunch, something quick. Like I can just chuck this in a bowl, heat it up, and not think. And that's pretty much the goal.
Yeah.
So our pasta. So we were looking at mac and cheeses, except he wanted to be more economical.
Yeah. So what you think about is instead of getting like a box of mac and cheese that's already made and has like a package full of cheese or whatever.
Probably $7 as well for
You can
one
get
little pack.
just normal noodles. Boil those up, put a little salt, put a little butter, and then sprinkle some
We have this cheese.
sprinkle some cheese on it, and then bam, it's your ready-made mac and cheese. So I thought that was the best thing to do.
Yeah.
And these are approved.
Yeah, these noodles are clean. The only ingredient is organic brown rice flour and water. Our other favorite snack that we keep around the house. These are his favorite.
You gotta have the brown rice snaps. They're actually little. Do you know? They're tasty on its own too.
Yeah, they actually are.
When you first have one, you're like, oh, this is kind of bland. But like when you sit and like savor the chip.
When you don't give your husband anything but Rice Crisps to eat, he learns
It's like,
to love them.
it's like, it tastes good. But what I normally have it is
Peanut butter and jelly.
a little bit of peanut butter, a little bit of jelly, and you have them on a paper towel. And they're like peanut butter jelly sandwiches, but it's not a sandwich, it's just a couple crackers. So
It's a little
that
bite
get
size.
you over the edge. and you have a little snack going. So that's what this is. And then
I don't
obviously,
typically love peanuts, right? They're really high in histamine. They're not very eczema friendly, but they're histamine liberators as well. However, this is economical, right? He was able to find the biggest jar for the best price out of like sunflower butter or almond butter. And this has one single ingredient, which is organic roasted peanuts. So I was fine.
clean enough.
It was clean enough for right now. That's all good. We also have this jelly, which is also kind of a clean enough sort of thing.
And the key to this too is their portion size. So I'll do like not a pea size, but like maybe 3 or 4 pea sizes worth of jelly. That way it lasts a lot longer and you're not using a bunch of sugar. So don't fool yourself. If you use a big heaping spoonful,
Well, I
you're not
feel
gonna
like
do
that's
well.
what you're gonna do because we got Dave's killer bread and now you have big slices of bread to put it on. It's gonna go
You
through
just
it
gotta
in
be
like
careful. You gotta
2 days.
thin slices of jelly.
So surprisingly, this was on the Bobby
And I said
approved.
slice because what I mean is when you spread it,
Yeah,
it's like a slice.
thin spread, right? This was approved on the Bobby approved app, and the reason is because everything's basically organic, so like organic wheat. So for whatever reason, all of this data, like the audio for this got completely messed up. It was like recording in slow-mo, the audio was recording in slow-mo, like you can see how insane this looks. So I'm just gonna finish this off with a little voiceover here. So we were talking about how we got this brown rice cereal. They're like puffed pieces of brown rice. And George is explaining you could just do like milk with it, put bananas and blueberries, and then I referenced the loaded cereal. And that's like a TikTok thing, especially if you're pregnant. And so another little TikTok reference there. And then the last thing that we kind of talked about was these Amy's, a little bit more processed. So like those are tortellinis, and then we have this like mac and cheese. And they're still like Bobby approved, you know, from that app or whatever. So it's organic and it's clean, but it's not as healthy as all of our produce and all of the like super clean stuff that we showed you. So that's basically what we're saying here. Again, apologies about this audio. I have no idea why it messed up so badly. But yes, there's our mac and cheese. It's good for lunches. Like if we just don't have the energy or the time, like again, I'm 36 weeks pregnant. I may not have the energy going forward. Now I'm just talking about Belinsky's chicken sausages, saying how I want to make them for lunch in that rice bowl. So some days we can have the tuna, and some days I can just make that sausage, heat it up in the air fryer, reference that behind me. And then I talked about how, like, we're no seed oils. We try our best to, like, eat organic as much as we can. And honestly, just thanking you guys so much for watching this. And then George reminds me that we have eggs. So we did buy pasture-raised eggs. A lot of times we try to do organic pasture-raised, but with the price of everything, we just did pasture-raised this time. And George explains that getting the 2 dozen is actually more cost-efficient than getting the 18. At least it was today. You know, the price of these things changes all the time, but for the 24 eggs, ended up being a better price than just the 18 eggs. So wonderful. I actually taught him today that the reason why we like pasture raised and not cage free is because the chickens get to eat bugs, which George thought at first was a bad thing, but it's actually a really good thing because it increases the omega-3 of the eggs. So we like pasture raised for that reason. So that's essentially what we are chatting about right now, is all of that. So again, thank you so much for watching this video. I wish the audio didn't cut out like this, but the software that I was using to record from messed up. I won't use it again, but I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it helps you figure out what to eat at Whole Foods. So if you need some inspiration, I know Whole Foods isn't the cheapest, but it gets us what we need. And yeah, thank you again.